Hi friends, this is Gail O'Neill, and I teach stamping. I hope you enjoy. Well, good evening everybody. So tonight we are playing with Brusho. Oh, these are some blank ones that got there. So these are some of the things that I was stamping on. This one I love, haven't decided what to do. We're going to be doing one similar to that. I did make a bunch of cards. I'm not going to put anything together tonight. This is my absolute fave. Like, look how that came out. I don't even know what I did to do that. I think I just had a lot of water on it, and it just burst. Then there's this one. I did make a card with that. And then I had some extra laying on the sheet, and I just sopped it up with some crumb cake. So you can also use other colors. I didn't try anything else. It was just that was sitting there. So I'm going to show you a few of the cards I did, and then I'll bring them out more at the end. But here's one. Here's that other one. And hopefully I can recreate, these backgrounds. They don't ever come out exactly the same. So this was the butterfly and adding some other colors to it. The background is actually the trees from Let It Ride. So when you really look at them, you see that they're trees. And then there's this one. This one I absolutely love. One of the and this one is kind of funny. I had watched, I think her name is Sandy Alanak. She's actually an artist. I mean, she makes cards, but she does them with her art. She also stamps, but mostly her art. So she was doing something with Brusho, making flowers. So I kind of tried to do it, but it's nothing like she did. And then I double stamped it by mistake. But, it's a card. It's good. It's all good. It's all learning. So the first thing I'm going to do, I do want to show you too, where'd I put it? The kind of other paper I use. Here it is. Okay, so I use like different papers. This is Canson XL, and I just got this on Amazon. And I think in one of my very beginning videos, I had used this for watercoloring. But it's much thinner, and you can stamp on it easier than you can on our paper, our watercolor paper. So that kind of gives it a plus, but I'm going to be doing things with everything. So I also want to show you, here are the 5 colors that we sell. And who knows if they'll carry over into the next catalog. And, they are fun, and I wish we had more colors. Brilliant Red, Prussian Blue, Moss Green, which isn't as bad as people think, Gamboge, and Yellow. So I don't know if you've seen others. I know if there's demonstrators on here, you'll notice there's something missing from mine because I don't follow the norm. I'm a little bit, out there. So yeah, I have uncapped it, all of them. Because sometimes you want to place it where you want to place it. So I'd be like really careful if you decide to do that. But when I'm putting them into a tray, now watch, it's missing. I prefer, this is not the one I use. I have a flat brush that was here. All right, we'll do it with this. I hope it's dry. But let me see. This one is the orange. Okay. So I can take some that way and put it into where I want it. Whether I'm using this tray or that tray. Also, you can take just a drop, and when you're doing something like inside a flower, you can just put it where you want it. So if you want to be a rebel like me, you'll tear it off. Otherwise, you'll just put your hole and leave it alone. Because these little beads of color are so powerful that just one little flake can like corrupt everything. So let me get rid of that. And let's do a few things. Now you can see this is what I was using this afternoon. And the water dries out, but your color is still there. So all you have to do is add a little bit of water. And I keep this bottle here. Not necessarily do I use that, but usually I'll take and add a few drops of water, because if you spray it, you have the chance of spraying it all over and contaminating everything. So I'm just going to add a few drops of that. And when I get to the point that I need more, I'll be putting more in there. But I just find that is easier than trying to shake it and getting it all over. Okay, so I went ahead and I taped some paper down. Now this one is the shimmery white. So I'm going to be using a few different ones. Let me just get rid of all my tops, because right now we're shaking. Okay, now also, you really don't want to use more than 3 colors. If you start doing more than that, you're going to turn to mud. So let's see, for like something like this, you just want, a little bit of color. I might, do more on this one. We'll see. I'm not going to be making cards out of any of these, but okay, so say I just wanted blue. So I'm going to shake some on there. Now my sprayers are hiding. Right there. Okay, so just going to spray a little bit. So I would just put that aside if you just want a little bit of color like that. Maybe add a little bit more. And you can see how it just activates it and it just starts to go. So that was putting it on dry. Less is more, as I keep squirting. So you can, let it go. The other thing that I do, if I think I have too much, I take my paper towel roll and I'll pick up that extra water. So then this one I would just put aside to dry. You can also dry it with your heater. Now see, there's red on there. And in these are other colors. Wait till you see this moss, what comes out of there. And as a matter of fact, I think I'll do that now because it's amazing. It's amazing. So we'll do that one on the regular watercolor paper. So this is just using the moss. Sometimes you have to tap it. You can always add more. It's harder to take away, but yet you can take away. But watch the different colors in there. There's blue, there's green, there's yellow. Can you see that? I mean, it's just amazing to me. But when you put it into a tray and use it to paint with, it becomes this like muddy, mossy green color. But like this, I love it. I mean, look how good this card came out. Like, I just love that background. So, while this is wet, I can add some more. And then you can still add even some more water if you want. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. Right in the middle. But start with less. And then, so now let's see what happens when I blot that up. Whoops. So what paper did I do this one on? This one I did on the shimmery. Let me go to the shimmery. I love using the shimmery. Let me do it on the shimmery. The same background. Okay, shimmery. And I only really tape these down for tonight. Today, I let them curl and hold them down. And all right, so I'm going to wet this a little first, because there's the two different ways of doing it. You can put it on dry, or you can wet it. Whoops, that's the blue. I want this one. Yeah, I love the way it on the Campson and on the shimmery. Come on. Like you get one little clog in there and then it doesn't want to come out. It would help if I didn't spray it in my face. Okay, watch them explode. Can you see that? And if I spray one more drop, there, and there, whoops. I'm also dyeing my hair at the same time. No more gray. So then if you start doing too much of this, then it muddies up. And you get that. So, all right, we're just going to add a little bit more. But you have to play till you get what you want. And then, but this time I'm just going to set it aside, because that's what I did actually last time. And let it, I just sprayed over to there. So let that do its thing, and then I'll bring it back towards the end. I don't want to muddy it up again. Okay. So then you can also take a stencil. This is the stencil that I made with our die. The only problem with my stencil is it doesn't stay flat. So I did put a little bit of tape, but we'll see how it comes out. So I'm going to put a little bit of red. This one is the yellow. And then if I add some blue to it, we'll end up with some green, hopefully not muddy, spray. Okay, so if we lift this up, it's going to go under there. So what it's going to be kind of the design, and let's see. There it is. And then I'm going to take this, which I don't think it's going to do much, But you can also then take your reverse. And this is when your hands get... So if you really don't like to get ink on yourself, I'd say put on rubber gloves. Rubber gloves make me hotter than I normally get, so I don't do that. So then you have the reverse. So it did kind of work. So I'm going to set these aside. I just want to sop up, because that's one of the things you can do, is just sop up some of that liquid. Okay. So I'm going to put them aside, let them dry a little bit. And I'll put this somewhere where I can wash it later. I think I used more paper towels today than I have in a month. But it's all fun. Okay, so let's do this one. I embossed, and I'm sure you can see it, I embossed those leaves in white. What colors? What colors? I think we'll do a little bit of blue. And I'm going to put some on the side there. And I'm going to take some of this moss. And a little bit of yellow. All right, let's see what happens with that. Because, of course, I didn't write down anything that I tried today. That would have been pretty smart had I done that. So this is kind of what I did today, is I didn't worry about taping anything down. I just kind of let everything do its thing. And I kind of like that. I think it's lighter than the other one. Maybe I'll add a little bit more of this moss. But to me, less is more. I like the lighter, not the darker. But that's me. But like I said, you can always, start lighter and then you can add more if you want it darker. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. You can also, which I didn't bring any in, but in something like this, you can take some bleach on or you can even put it inside your aqua painter and then bleach out inside the leaves, and it'll turn like another lighter color. So if you do end up too dark, you have the option of doing that too. It's a whole other look. I just didn't get to that today. Okay, now, oops, I forgot I was going to do something there. So we're going to do it. All right, so some blue and the moss. I don't know how I came up with that real light color. It might have been this, the moss and yellow. We'll find out. Okay, so I'm going to spray that. Nah, it's too dark. But now you can take a piece and stamp right in it. And you're going to get that stamp background. And then just let that dry. I think my computer has a virus because these things keep popping up on it. And then I can't see you guys. Okay. So I'm going to put that aside. The other thing, let me see if I have a stamp here. Let's do some trees. And this is the Campson. Yeah. Well, if I hold it for a second. That could work. You have to be careful that you don't get too much on it. Like I found when I was stamping into like a big puddle. Let's see. I got so many stamps out here. It's crazy. But this is all for playing. Like I don't care if they go into the garbage. Yeah, I like that. So you get the idea what you can, you know, what else you can be doing. You can also take your paintbrush, depending on what colors you put there. I'll grab this one. Like this is going to be a muddy green. But if we did it from there and put like stripes or something and then stamped it. So you could do backgrounds like that. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it would work. I mean, it's just messy with all this. What else? Oh, all right. I'm not going to do this with this color. I'm going to clean this up. But let me try something else. Gotta love playing. Gotta love it. I think this is shimmery. Yeah, I didn't have enough on it, but I could see possibilities of certain stamps. Okay, so let me get rid of this because I don't want green flowers. Now, let me just show you something. Like when you think it's all clean, it's not really. You have to spray, wipe it up, spray, and then wipe again so you don't contaminate and have mud. Okay, so let's do some orange and some red. And a little bit of yellow. And then I'm going to spray. This one sprays too much. Okay. So again, I have the Campson. And that's how I got that look. So some of them are going to spread, but you know, I don't think it matters for a background. Some of them are going to come out like crystal clear. Like that one. Isn't that cool? So you have to pull out like all different kinds of stamps and just do it. Look how nice this has dried. Just wondering what I have laying here. I mean, it just all depends on what you want to do. That's why I like leaving these backgrounds in something, and then I'll be doing something and go, ah, that's going to work. So I am going to have a lot of backgrounds. This one's drying nice also. Okay. So now I'm going to fill those. I'm going to clean this up, fill those. I guess since that's the last one on there. Yeah, today I didn't waste the color like that. I just kept dipping stuff in it. And if any of them go in the garbage, it's just paper. Just remember that when you're playing. It's just paper. Okay. So, we've got the blue. This one was the red. Oh, look at that to the top. Oy, oy, oy. And that's when you make a mess. So that's really all you need. Go down. And yellow. And I need to brush that off the brush. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of water. And I think the blue should be all right. So now I have all these markers going on. So in order to do that real colorful one, let's see, I started out I think with the red. And then you want to clean it off in between. Red is a hard one to clean off, but okay, so then we're going to pick up some orange. We're going to blend it. And then clean that off. And go into the yellow. I think I just did the same one. Oh no, I just didn't make the oranges dark. So that's how I did that other one. Let me add a little bit more red. I had done one, oh, I think it was like a year ago when I first got the Brusho, and I did purple and red, and it came out really nice. I have no idea where that card is, or I would have pulled it out. So now that one will get set aside. So then when you're doing like the butterflies, so there's a few different things you can do. You can fill these with water. Now I've embossed these. So you can do like a mixture of colors. So let's see, let's do some blue. And we'll add a little bit of red. Now, if you set this aside after you're happy with what you have here, then after all this other, you can brush away. But now you can also add a little bit of more water to it and get the colors moving around. But if you start doing too much, you can pull it to the edges. It'll start to blend in a way that it's just mush. So pull it to the edges and then just let it dry on its own. I'm trying to see if there's any more white spots. So that's going to take about like 15 or 20 minutes. That's going to be pretty. So carefully put that aside. And it's basically going to stay, that water is just going to evaporate and that color is just going to drop down. Okay, so then on this one, say we want it more, more placement. So I should have cleaned that. I think I just contaminated it. And I really wanted the yellow first, but it's okay. So we're going to do just a light. I did mess that up. It's all right. It's still going to work. Okay, so I'm doing like a light wash. Now I'm going to really clean it. Starting to get a little brown there. And this one's empty. Okay, so let's take some of the yellow and wash that. I think I put orange in both. All right, so let's clean that. And you get the idea how I would, you know, when I did the blue, you just color those sections. All right, so we're going to take some red and kind of drop that in here like this and just let it bleed. So this needs to be a little, you can see it bleeding on that side, and this side needs to be a little wetter. So you just let a little bit of water out of your pen. And this is on the shimmery, which I still think it's my favorite. Yeah, because this had the right amount of water. It was like really spreading nicer. Let's see if I add a little bit more. But when it dries, it like doesn't matter. So I'm not even going to do more to this one. I'm going to set that aside to dry. Now this one is on watercolor paper. So let's be a little bit more direct. So this red is really red. So I'm going to do these. So this is on dry. I did not wet it first. This is where you're going to get the most color, is when you do it this way. And I'll clean that off. Now, if I want it to be lighter, I can take some blue and I'll put it in here with some more water. And even though that doesn't look lighter, it really is. So I could also, let's see, if I put some of that blue, and I'll do it with another one, add some of that red. Okay, so now we've got a purple. I just want to be in the right one. More water, more water. Nope, it needed to be darker first. I've just contaminated everything. All right, so that one's going to be a little darker. Let's go back to our light blue. So you get this. And if you go out of the lines and you're going to cut it out anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of what else I did differently today. Oh, look how nice this one's drying. That's going to be, oh, if you have spots like that, take your blends. You know how when you emboss something thick and it just doesn't come out? And the other thing that I did I do it on, yeah, I did it partial on this one, but I go around the edges with a marker or the blends so that it looks finished. So that'll get cut out and put on something. May as well finish this. And then I'll pull in all the cards, and I did the stamping. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. There's so many more, whoops, so many more techniques to do with this. I don't like the purple. Should have kept it all blue. You say, oh well, it's not bad now. That's not bad. Okay, so now these will dry up. I have like a case that this fits into, and then I can pull it out another time. Oh, I forgot one. Later. Here. No, I'll just leave it. I'll make more of a mess. All right, let me bring a couple of these back. Now this is like still really wet. It's all like curled, but you can get it all straightened out, and that's still a puddle there. This one's just about dry. They do dry. Oh, look, this one's really coming out nice. Can you see how that, like the water is shrinking down? So once that is totally dry, I can just like brush all those pieces away. And if I want to, you know, well, if I can either cut it out or I can do more on the same card. It all depends. I'll probably cut that out. But it comes out really pretty. And that'll take another 10 or 15 minutes, I would think. Okay, so let me get rid of all this. Let me put my little things back in there. If I find more things to do, I'll do another video. And as I make more cards with the backgrounds I have, I will put them, I'm missing one. I'll find it later. So let me bring back the cards. I'm not doing any commercials tonight. There's lots of things going on with Stampin' Up, but no commercials. But if you don't have a demonstrator and you need one, I might be your girl. So thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you Sunday with something, because you know I never know what. Good night all. Thanks for joining me.